So basically I figured out what was going on with the boost leak. Don't mind that little vacuum hose right there, but that was basically the issue, right? So if you guys remember a couple videos ago, we capped that off, and we actually capped off one of these down here, and then ended up like messing up everything. Like I didn't have brakes, I didn't have proper vacuum, like none of that. Like everything was completely jacked up, right? So we took this hose off, which was connected to the intake, and we capped that off thinking that that was our vacuum leak, which it was, because it was like hanging like right in this area, wide open. So of course it's gonna have a vacuum leak right there. So we got to thinking, we're like, okay, let's just cap it off instead of capping it down here. That way, we still have brakes and all that good stuff, and it'll run how it should. It ran okay, but I could tell, especially at like 2,500 RPMs, hitting the gas, the motor felt like it was working so hard, but it was not going anywhere. You know what I mean? And that's really like the only way I can explain it. So the last video I was explaining how I had, the boost leak and everything. So I literally took every single one of these clamps completely off, adjusted it how I felt that it should be, and I tightened them all the way back down. And when I tell you, like, that was probably the easiest thing to do, to check the block, if you know what I mean. It really took me, I'd say, an hour to go through every clamp, take it off, wiggle the hose, make sure it's on both sides of the pipes how it should be, and then to tighten it back up. It took me like an hour, and I was out here sweating in 110 degrees, but I did it, just to say that I did. And after that, I got to thinking that it was the filter, because I know a lot of these, yeah, it's an air filter, but this one's like kind of small. So I was thinking, air is getting restricted by this. So I took that off, and I made, I think, 5 hits. 2 of them made boost somewhat, 7 out of like 13 pounds or whatever. The last 3 ended up basically not making boost at all. It was just at 0. I was just sitting here thinking, like, what change did I make that I didn't put back, or couldn't put, what I'm trying to say, right? And that clamp off that we did was the only thing that I can think of that we that I didn't try, and I knew it was connected to the air intake. So I was like, let me plug it up to this vacuum distribution block, and then maybe, just hoping in the win at this point, because I was so flustered that last video. I did not know, what was going on. So I was like, let me try it. The worst thing that can happen, it can not work, and then I'll just cap it again. But I did it 4 hits in a row. It made 13 pounds, which in my opinion isn't safe, because I'm on 93, and like I was saying, detonation and all that stuff. But it did make boost every single hit, right? So I got this line on here. As you can tell, it is a little short. I want to route it behind this brake booster right here, just to kind of make everything neat and uniform. But as you can see, it's a little short. So I went and got another one, a little bit longer, because Mike gave that to me, and that's the only line he had. So I went and got one cut to my length, and we're gonna replace that. And I'll probably get a couple pulls. I gotta go to Walmart anyway, so I'll get a pull going to Walmart. It should make boost, and we should be good to go to put it on the dyno. So with the dyno, it won't go on until after 4th of July, because he is taking a family vacation like everybody. So whenever he gets back, we'll put it on a dyno, and we should see what it makes. We also need to take that spring out, like I said before. That's something that I cannot do by myself, because if I take that out, I won't be able to put it back in, and I don't have any help here. So definitely gonna have to get with him, swap that out before we put it on the dyno, because my foot is not reliable. to keep it under 10 pounds. I'm gonna just be completely honest. But yeah, so we'll just swap that, not really swap them, there's really 2 springs in there, but we'll take 1 spring out, and I'm gonna fix this hose right now, and we should be good to go on the dyno. That time, baby.